Well, I thought I'd start out this video. I'm going to clean the bench up again. But I've completed the wing. It's been 1 week. Today is a week back from the gnats. It took me a week to build the wing. It's complete. The only thing is the bell crank's not installed. But we're going to weigh it up. Now this is with the tips. Wingtip weight box, center sheeting. It's 7.5 ounces. So we're looking at 7, 8, 9. We're looking at a 10-ounce wing with everything installed. Bell crank, flaps, hinges. I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I figured that I would go ahead and do this video, the finished video, because I really didn't go too much in depth on building this wing, for the simple fact I had the other wing video up, and this is the second airplane. I haven't finished that other wing yet, well, I still will, but I figured that I would use this wing in my new project, because I saw some things at the gnats that I really liked. So this particular wing will get finished at a later time. It's probably considerably heavier than this one, and that's another reason why I wanted to go this route. I want light. So we have to make a new fuselage. We're going to be using the rudder that I had already cut out, but we'll be making a new fuselage, and that's the next video in this series. I'll do another fuselage video. Let's see what my airplane weighs so far. Wing, elevator, stabilizer, horns, and rudder is 10.5 ounces. So we're going to add 6 ounces to the, so we're looking at 10.5, 6 ounces for the fuselage, that's 16.5, 17.5, 18.5, 19.5. We'll be at around 20 ounces for the complete airplane. That's doable, because they were asking me at the gnats, where do you want to be? By the time that you're ready to start framing or painting, the color, you don't really want to be any farther away than 25 ounces. Because you got 25 ounces plus, let's say we'll be on the conservative side, 8 ounces in finish, 25 and 8 is 33, and then you got all the hardware, so 33, 40, you want to be around that mark, so that's what we're shooting for. I'll go ahead and edit this video, get it playing, and there are a few tips in this video, not a whole lot because I was doing the other video, but this is what I've completed since I've been back from the Nationals. 1 week, the wing is done. It's super straight and light. So this is that wood that I got from Bob at the gnats. So hopefully we can have her done, for September. Well, we'll see in a short. Well, I got back from the gnats, and after seeing all those pretty airplanes, I decided to change course. I have this 1/2 wing complete. The other wing is complete, and they just need to be glued together. It's relatively light, but I decided, after watching some some really nice airplanes this year, I would go a different route. So I got a hold of Bob Hunt, and I got a whole stack of 77 thousandths wood, and I've sorted the best wood out of the pile for the wing. And this is what we have here. This wing should be around 5 ounces when it's done, complete. And with the flaps will be 5, flaps and bell crank will be 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 ounces with tips, guide, and everything ready to go. Covered probably 10 ounces. And the reason I did this is that airplane that I was designing is an unknown, and I really need to get something close to what I'm flying now, because I don't have a backup. So I'm going to build something close and change some of the things that I didn't like, such as the nose moment. I'm going to shorten it up from the Monado and taper up the fuselage. And we're going to work on that. And when I get this done, I'll go back to that project. Now, I do have some video to show you how to stack sand and build that half wing. I'll go ahead and post that a little later. What I'm doing, this is my first day back from the Nats, and I got, I don't know, probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ribs done, 10 ribs cut. And I'll just go on from there. Now, it's rather boring, the cutting of the ribs. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut the camera. When I get the ribs all cut out, we'll come back. I'll show you how I lay up the lost foam cradle. So we'll see you in a short. Alright, this is Monday, second day back from the Nats. I've got all the ribs cut. I'm putting the wing together. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how to cut these ribs. Now, Bob Hunt has the lost foam building tape, and that's how I learned how to do it. And I really don't want to cut him short, but I'll show you a little bit on how to do it. But now I'm just setting the ribs in. I've already glued the trailing edge, but I'm making sure the ribs are square. At a 90 degree to the spar. That way the sheeting will touch. The ribs will touch all the sheeting. And this system really, it goes together so nice. I mean, couldn't ask for a better way to do things. There's no sanding, no jiggering of things around or anything like that. I probably have the most expensive hole cutter that you can possibly have. What I have here is a PA61 liner that I use to cut the large hole in the wood with. This is next year's airplane. I tell you, if Todd Lee won the concourse, that airplane was just so beautiful. He did such a great job on its L6, L7. So congratulations to Todd Lee for his effort on that little Spitfire. And he did a good job flying it too. The thing that takes the most time building this type of wing is cutting the pieces out. It's the setting up of the project. Now I'll show you how I cut these. I just take the sleeve. I have sharpened it on the end. This is an old sleeve, and I put it on the just use it as a hole cutter. Piece of brass tubing. Ooh, it's warm. Raining here in St. Louis again. Hasn't stopped raining. And that's how you do it. Simple and fast. And I have a piece of sandpaper on the back of this square. Use a fingernail file or what have you. That's 6. Seven. I'm going to be remaking the fuselage again too, and I'll show you how. I'll show you one more time how I lay that up and design the numbers. Kind of wish I wouldn't have used up all my good 32nd. I had to use 32nd inch wood on this airplane. That's the way it goes. Ain't buying no more. I did get some decent wood from Hunt at the Nats. Bought it all, and out of about 50 pieces, I got about 25 that are usable. 6, and this is 7. Here's my little sanding stick with a piece of spar, a piece of sandpaper on one side, so that you can sand it down till it fits perfect. Just like that. I want to show you what I did with the landing gear mounts as well. On the landing gear, we have 2 ribs. The LH2 is 16th inch plywood laminated to one side of the rib, to the inboard side, and that's what the wire block itself will more or less glue to. And then on the extreme outboard side, we have a good stout piece of 16th. It was 24 grams. Then I have a piece of 64th laminated to each side of that, and that will go to the outboard side. So it's an ultra light, strong light ply rib, and it doesn't take much of the load, so it's just basically a holder. The one that takes the load is the one that the upright block is glued to. Moving around. Need to pin her down again. Now I got a few little whoops in it, but that's okay. When I glue the top piece down and I weight the leading edge down, and I put the stiffeners in it, that'll all go away. Okay, now that's better. don't have an accelerator. No, it's there anyway. Two ribs, and we're good to go. Okay, now let's talk about the stiffener. On the inboard side of these, all the ribs, I have a stiffener that runs between the spars. And it's just a piece of 16th, and it goes from top of the spar to the bottom. And I just drop a little glue in there. Cut it off, sand the notch back in it, and it's on there just like that. And we'll put the hole in it. Like watching paint dry. Okay, this is 4. Darn. I have to make a new tip up. Can't see. There we go. Well, at the Nats this year, I went to the scale circles, and I got to meet Dave Platt. And we had dinner together, and he's 80-something years old, and I gotta tell you, he is funnier than shit. And a good modeler. Real good modeler. Okay, so Yeah, I don't know how easy he's going to be able to be beaten. His airplanes look good. And he's a scale guy who can fly inverted. I found that comical. I guess he built a bunch of the models for the Battle of Britain movie or something like that. I'm not sure what the name of the movie was, but some famous movie. And he is good. Okay, last rib. I'm going to sight down it now and make sure it's relatively straight. Appears to be. We're going to add the top of the trailing edge. Under it. I'm sure that Bob doesn't do what I do, moving things around like that, but I don't see that it matters. Why is this thing on a twist? So, let's see if we can get the server weights on it without screwing it up. Oh, broke it. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut the camera and I'll be back in a minute when I get that fixed. Okay, I've got that fixed. We're gonna try it again. Not so much weight this time. Can't take 30 pounds on 16th wood just standing up. So we'll just use the 15 pound weight. So now I'm going to tack the top sheet of the trailing edge on. Sight down it. Cut these off. Okay, let's pick it up and look at it. It's going to probably be a little twisted, but that's okay because we don't have it locked up yet. See how much it weighs. I need to hack that off. Oh, that's nice and light. Good and straight. Leave that loose until I put the leading edge sheeting on it. Okay. Let's see what it weighs. One ounce. So if we put the sheeting on there, it takes how many here? These are 77. It takes 3, 4 per side. 2.7. So we'll have a 5¼ ounce wing total. That's a good. Okay, I'll cut the camera. That'll be it for today. I'll tinker a little bit, and if I got something more to report, we'll be back. So, see you in a bit. Okay, the mess isn't getting any better. Haven't cleaned it up since the last project. I certainly need to do that. Anyway, we got this this wing, or the inboard side, ready to sheet the leading edge. And what I'm going to do now, I have cut the filler spaces. I got them in. I won't put the bracing in until I get the flaps ready to hinge, because I have to glue some hinge blocks inside and then put the bracing in on the trailing edge. But I have the trailing edge installed and the shear webs installed out past the landing gear. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set this one aside, and I'm going to start building the outboard wing. I have not cut the ribs for it yet, so I figured that this is day 2 of this airplane. I figured that we'd go ahead and show you how I do that, because I didn't show you on the first part, on the first video, and the cutting of the ribs is what takes the most time. The putting of the wing together takes very little time. I'm uploading a video right now that's from the other project, and I'm going to show you how I did that. We're going to put that on hold until I get this airplane done. So we'll be building 2 full-size stunners. I just wanted to, after going to the Nationals and seeing some of those airplanes, I just wanted to do something that I had in my mind while it's still fresh in my mind. So here we got the inboard wing. I might as well go ahead and strip this. I had already cut this straight. I'm going to strip this for the trailing edge so I don't mess that up. And I'll go ahead and route it while the router's still set up. Straight. So let me route this out real quick. I'm kind of off camera because the router's set up on the edge of my bench here. I made 2 passes in this. And now I have my sanding dowel. I'll screw it up. Different dowel. What happened to it? Here it is. Smaller. Let's see. Alright, so we'll just set this piece aside. And what did I do with the 16th wood? No, I put it right here. And I've already graded this wood, so we're going to take the lightest pieces. These are all the 11s. And they're all good. Okay. Oh, here's a 10. Put this out towards the tip. So what I do here is I just get the foam buck, and I like to keep the grain running straight down the rib. So I waste a lot of wood doing it this way, but is it really a waste? I don't know. And this is a center rib. It's right center. Oh, good thing I caught that. Center rib's an 1/8" rib. So we'll cut that out and put it as rib 1, but the right center is an 1/8" rib. And this rib gets cut out mostly anyway. And this is hard 1/8" wood. This is the piece. Has to be pretty stout because this is what glues the 2 wing halves together. So I'm not using contest wood for the center rib. I'm using probably 8 to 10 pound wood. $48 grams for a 4" by 48 piece, whatever that works out to be. but it's something I wouldn't use in a wing normally, except for something like this. So now we have the center blank cut. Okay, on day 2, we're putting the, I'm building the second half of the wing, the outboard side. And you have to make sure that it mates up perfectly to the inboard side. And how you do that is you pin the 2 center ribs together. Now they're exact duplicates. So if you're building off the exact duplicate, the outboard side will come out exactly the same. And that way the sheeting matches up in the middle. So you put the cradles together. Some guys glue them together. I don't find it necessary, for the simple fact then I can put them back in the box. I got so many of these stupid foam cradles, it's ridiculous. So we're going to put a piece of tape on it, tape them together so they don't move. I might reposition the camera so you can get a better view of what I'm doing here. So now you just start setting the ribs. Making sure you got the upside to the upside. I want this model perfect, so I'm kind of taking my time on the fitment. Because as I've said in the past, finish begins with the first piece of wood cut. Now, I haven't put the lightning holes in these ribs yet, but we got to put the stiffener between the spars here. So this piece of wood goes from top to bottom, right on those lines. And if you don't have Bob Hunt's Lost Foam building video, you know, yeah, I could make one. I could make a video. But Bob has went through the trouble of making that video, and it's so good, and it's relatively long. There's no need to remake it. And it explains exactly how to do the Lost Foam system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the lightning holes in it. And I kind of like to keep things symmetrical, so I mark and this is all just, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but so we'll put a couple lightning holes in this rib, and I'll show you how that's done. I just have a 1/2-inch piece of brass that's skived on the inside to cut the 2 holes, one on each end. And then of course this is the world's most expensive hole cutter, which is a sleeve from a PA-61 that I expired. And I've just kind of sanded the edge sharp. And then cut out the center of that. There's not really any need to sand them, but I normally sand the inside so that it looks just as nice inside as it does outside. So you just take some sandpaper on the roll, and I've lost my little square. I don't know where it went. Here it is. And here's my square that I have a piece of sandpaper on. It's a dual purpose tool, square and sanding stick all in one. And that just makes things easier. And as I said, you don't have to do this. Because who's going to look inside the airplane? No one. So instead of burning up time, I'll cut the camera. This kind of gives you the idea what I'm doing today, though. And then of course we have the RH half rib, and we'll go ahead and put a stiffener on it. This is the second day on this airplane. What takes the most time is cutting of the parts. It takes no time to put at all to put this wing together. I can probably build this wing in a couple of hours. If the pieces were all cut. Once I get this outboard wing laid out, we'll separate them again. You don't need to work on them in the together state. I know Bob probably does, but I don't have the room here that Bob does, so I take them apart. And that's it. So I'll go ahead and cut the camera. We have, I don't know, about 10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full ribs and 2, 4, 6, 7. We have 14 ribs, 7 regular and 7 half ribs to place. And when I get that done, we'll come back. This wing will probably not be finished today, but it'll be well on its way. And tomorrow I can go ahead and start finishing it up. So that's 3 days, and that's about normal for a wing. And 3 days, for those of you who are counting, is 30 hours. I'm thinking about, because Bob is going to retire from making these wings, I'm thinking about going ahead and offering the service of making these wings. And the price will be very similar to Bob's $300 for a lost foam Geobolt wing. Now I have Geobolt, I have a Crossfire, I have a Saturn, I have the Aries, and a SV22 wing cradles. And I'll build any wing that you guys, that you guys want. But there's going to be an upcharge if I have to have a foam cradle cut. So that'll be added to the $300 plus shipping. And that'll be a way for me to make a little extra money and kind of keep things going. So I'm going to cut the camera and we'll be back when I get all the ribs placed. So see you in a short.